name is Sonia.
Hello, my name is Marisela.
My name is David Martinez,
My name is Samuel.
My name is Marlene.
and this is Justice Studies 201 Intro. Oh, sorry, 101 Intro into Social Justice, and our topic is about sex and gender within media, and we're just going to talk about some things today about how you know our country in general has been really dynamic in trying to break the gender and sex barrier. If you talk about, for instance, maybe even like 70 years ago when media may have a woman, anchor, or if that a co-anchor. You could look at Barbara Streisand, who was the first woman to break the gender barrier, and you could also, look at several different types of organizations. You could talk about professional sports organizations that have been, until recently, willing to accept gay people into their organizations without any judgment. Unless you're Donald Sterling, then that's a whole different subject. But yeah. So our topic is broad, but it covers a wide area of what we believe is social justice for everyone, and not just for the one common person. So we're going to talk about several people. We're going to talk about how certain celebrities became successful when they opened up to everyone, and you know were able to not hide and actually become successful because of it. We're going to talk about what our country is doing, especially several states that are imposing acts and laws to prevent people from not getting their social justice. We're also going to talk about religions and how they're becoming more forthcoming about the idea, and to accept it, to not only to accept it, to embrace it as well. And then we're also going to talk about just how certain areas of our country have been very accepted. So that's my little spiel. So we're going to start off with Bobby Sella.
And I want to just start this off by saying it's a quote from the source Journal for the Scientific Study of Religion. And it starts off by saying, being lesbian and Christian is accepting the unique creation that God created me to be. Love is beautiful no matter how it's expressed. Difference doesn't have to mean sin. The Bible has been used against us, and it really isn't all about what's been presented to us. The Bible is not the book that hits us in the head, it's the book that leads us into the light. And by saying that, they give us already a way for us to feel a sense of empowerment, definitely to the gay community, and being able to feel that they can belong in a society where you're judged no matter what. And definitely being in a society where you are judged, being gay is definitely one of the main reasons so many people turn into depression, or they turn into uh, problems that they face in their everyday lives. And many reflections in churches and communities and um, ministries come together and try to avoid the negative sense of that being gay is a sin. It's an abomination, and just things that people, when they read the Bible, they get that feel, they get that sense. Little do they know that God loves us all no matter what. These reflections from two Christian church participants reveal the complexity and diversity in the experiences of people who define themselves as both gay and religious. Much of the research on gay and lesbian people of faith assumes that any reconciliation of religious and homosexual identities is preceded by a history of conflict. Investigators link this conflict with the fact that although a few Christian denominations and denominational religious groups, such as the United Church of Christ, Integrity of the Episcopal Church, dig-
Apostolic. Oh, I'm sorry.
Dignity in the Roman Catholic Church, and Lutherans concern view homosexuality in a more tolerant light. Most mainstream Christian denominations do not. In one study, 72% of surveyed churches and organizations condemned homosexuals and homosexuality as being an abomination in the eyes of God. Members and participants in many of the more conservative Christian denominations refer to gays and lesbians as unnatural, evil, sinners, and perverts. When such anti-gay language and sentiment is encountered by gays and lesbians with a strong religious faith and a strong positive feeling toward their sexuality orientation, they enter a situation where identity conflict can occur. Indeed, researchers have applied the label cognitive dissonance to the struggle they have documented between homosexuality and religious beliefs among lesbians, which is something that they've started. They began to create groups among communities, and they're able to set aside any negativity, and it definitely helps those become more comfortable with themselves, more being able to express who they are, which is something that they start off with these community um, groups and in churches, and it's definitely something that me personally I've seen working in a Catholic church. I see people that are gay and they may feel that they're not part of the community, that they don't belong, but having these groups with that are able to help them portray that their lifestyle is normal and that they're just like anybody else helps them feel more that they belong in their own community and within themselves.
I'm going to be speaking about Ellen DeGeneres, which is a very famous celebrity that helped a lot of gays actually, so to speak, come out. She was known as 2014's Out Magazine Top Most Influential Gay Celebrity. She is an American comedian, TV host, producer, actress, as well as Forbes' Most Influential Woman in Media. Ellen DeGeneres came out approximately 15 years ago. Before her actual coming out, she was hosted on ABC's 2020 show in April of 1997, and this is where she shared her fears of coming out. She quoted, "If they found out I was gay, maybe they wouldn't applaud." So at this time, she did have fears that by her coming out, she was going to be rejected by the public. On April 30th, she launched on her show The Puppy episode. In this episode was where she actually came out to the public and the media, and she did it in a very peculiar way. She sat across her psychiatrist, which was played by Oprah Winfrey at that time, and they had some dialogue that went a little like this. "It's not like I'm looking for perfection," DeGeneres' character said. "I just want to find somebody special, somebody that I click with." "Has there ever been anyone you felt you clicked with?" Winfrey's character asked. "What was his name?" "Susan," she replied. Laughter and applause followed. Advertisers such as JCPenney and Chrysler, though, decided not to buy any airtime during this particular episode, and others such as Wendy decided not to advertise on the Ellen show at all. Later throughout the years, this has changed. JCPenney has now taken DeGeneres as its spokeswoman and supported its decision even when 1 million moms, a pro-family advocacy group, threatened to boycott the national retail chain for refusing to fire him. In 1996, a Gallup poll showed that the public approval rating for gay marriage was 27%, which it is more than 50% today. And there are now 34 shows featuring gay characters in leading and supporting roles, not including reality TV, compared to only 11 shows in 1997. She said she came out on the show for the teenagers who contemplated suicide when they realized that they were gay, and for the young confused girl that she once was. She said that wanting to be accepted for who she is drove her to come out on television that year, despite Jerry Falwell, Pat Robertson, and other members of the evangelical community who said they were disappointed. Some even called her Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres reflects on coming out episode 15 years later. In November 2011, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton named her a special envoy for global aid. And in 2008, during the time when it was legal for same-sex couples to get married in California, um, her as well as her partner Portia de Rossi were a couple that drew a lot of attention and also assisted in other couples following this same-sex marriage. Ellen was also an outspoken opponent of Proposition 8, the measure to end gay marriages in California. Ellen respectfully and comically gave Senator John McCain a piece of her mind on the issue of gay marriage, which was big in the media. She was known as Forbes' most influential woman in the media as well, and she actually bumped Oprah Winfrey to number 2. But the earning power was not just what determined this. It was that they were ranked in 4 categories determining their influence: audience, press mentions, earnings, and social media outreach, which included followers on Twitter and friends on Facebook.
The movement to obtain civil marriage rights and benefits for same-sex couples in the United States began in the 1970s, but became more prominent in American politics in 1993 when the Hawaii Supreme Court declared the state's prohibition of same-sex marriage to be constitutional in the case of Fair versus Lewin on May 17, 2004. Massachusetts became the first U.S. state and the 6th jurisdiction in the world to legalize same-sex marriage following the Supreme Judicial Court's decision in Goodrich versus Department of Public Health 6 months earlier. I will begin by stating the states that do allow for gay marriage, along with the order. So it first started on Massachusetts with May 17, 2004. Then next came California. It was effective June 16, 2008. Connecticut came third with on November 12, 2008. Iowa, April 27, 2009. Vermont, September 1st, 2009. New Hampshire, January 1st, 2010. The District of Columbia, March 9th, 2010. New York, July 24th, 2011. Washington, December 6th, 2012. Maine, December 29th, 2012. Maryland, January 1st, 2013. And Delaware, July 1st, 2013. Rhode Island, August 1st, 2013. Minnesota, August of 2013. New Jersey, Hawaii, New Mexico, and now Illinois in 2014. As you can see, we made a lot of progress over the years when it comes to same-sex marriage. Marriage is less of, I want to say, a personal thing, but more of a human right to decide who you want to be with and make it public. A lot of benefits come with marriage. National poll conducted by 2011 by pollingreport.com, so the majority of Americans supporting legalizing same-sex marriage. So basically, it shows that the majority of Americans, which is over 50%, agree with legalizing same-sex marriage. Barack Obama became the first sitting U.S. president to publicly declare support for legalization of same-sex civil marriage. The fact is, we cannot stop same-sex couples from being together. Whether or not we agree the idea of them being gay does not give us the right to govern gay couples' benefits of marriage. We are not stopping gay couples from being together by not allowing them to marry. We are doing nothing but denying them the same benefits that we all share. Things like taxes, healthcare, credit are all things required by American society today, and we are preventing fellow Americans from taking advantage of things they can use to better themselves. In essence, we are depriving them from living a normal life, and that seems like more of an injustice than any reason we could use to keep them from marrying. In conclusion, the freedom to marry whoever you want is considered a basic human right. 17 states thus far allow for same-sex marriage, along with 6 countries, with more on the way.
So with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit about their rights after being married, whether they could get married in certain states or whatnot. The good thing about being able to get married, even if it's not allowed in a state or whatnot, is that now you can, starting for Texas 2013 and going forward, you can file taxes jointly. So that's a good help because now it doesn't matter. You're going to get the same rights as a heterosexual couple. Another right that gay couples were given as well was they can adopt a child if you meet the requirements and specifically if you're married or choose whether it's to donate sperm or how would you say this?
Semen?
No, when you want to get someone's tummy.
Surrogate mother.
Yes.
Yes, when you want to do one of those, you're able to as well. Before, back in those years when they wouldn't allow any of that stuff, if you were gay or lesbian and if you wanted a kid, most gay couples just opted for being with someone and marrying someone that was from the opposite sex just to have a child. And that didn't make any sense afterwards because nowadays you can claim your child. One, what people tend to do nowadays is, for instance, if the guy and the girl are married and she decides, no wait, if two girls are married and one of them decides to carry the baby in their stomach, once the baby gets delivered, the other one tends to put their legally name. And that's how couples are nowadays tending to adopt child. So that's legal now. Well, moving forward, another right that gay couples are granted nowadays is going with immigration. Whether it's allowed or not, other countries outside of the United States to be married in a gay relationship or not. As an American, you can claim your fiance and bring them over to the United States and get married here in any state that allows gay marriage. You don't necessarily have to marry outside of the United States. You can file a petition and bring your fiance and marry here in any of those states. After you're married, you can go ahead and file taxes together. You can go ahead and adopt. You can claim healthcare together. So over the years, we've progressed a lot. We're not only we don't have to live in that closet. We don't have to hide it. There's no need for committing suicide. I grew up in a high school where I had a friend who was dating another one of my friends. And once the relationship didn't work out, but it wasn't because of sex orientation or anything, it was because it just didn't work out. A couple months later, it was because he declared himself gay. And obviously, it's never going to work out if you don't come out the way you're supposed to. You know, if you're gay, you gotta come out. So bottom line is, nowadays, with all these privileges, being allowed to get married, being granted the same rights, legally recognized that you count as an American, that your rights are being out there, they're being stated, they're listening to you. That's us in America nowadays, and that's great.
So to solve the problem, that we know that to solve any issue of injustice, I think it requires it, spreading the knowledge about gay couples, um, sharing information, being brave, you know, not putting anyone down. And I think if we can get a lot of people to work together, and we can get a lot of states to okay gay marriage, as we've been doing so far, I think that it'll make a huge impact, and that's how we would solve um, like discrimination against gays.
Yeah, and this just is sorry, and this is just a few examples of how people are constantly changing and our minds are constantly thinking outside the box instead of having that one focal point that we all say this is the right way to think. And being outside the box to me is a form of social justice, and it's the way that we all should think because we're all different no matter what. And I know this is gonna, you know, after watching this video, you guys are just gonna think, hey, this is, just about gays in general, but it's about people, groups, country coming together as one to fix a problem that we know is wrong. So that's it for our class video. Just want to say thank you. And peace.